Thank you so much, Martin. Right now I'd like to welcome the Commissioner of the ECHL, Mr. Brian McKenna.
Thank you very much. And it is my distinct pleasure to be with you here today. Thank everyone for coming again, and I'm pleased to welcome the Colorado Eagles as the newest member of the ECHL. The Eagles have a history of success, as you've heard and experienced here over the past 8 years. 2 championships, 5 trips to the finals. An 8-year history is really unprecedented. I think what's more impressive, though, are the 311 consecutive sellouts. In minor league sports, that's extremely difficult to do, and I think it really speaks of not only the dedication of the fans, but the connection that this team has with the community. Usually when you see that sort of support on an ongoing basis, it's developed over decades. In minor league baseball, like Durham Bulls, minor league hockey, Hershey Bears come to mind, iconic in the community. But to develop that over a period of only 8 years, I think, is simply outstanding. Part of that, though, and Ralph and I were chatting earlier, and I think both Chris and Martin alluded to it in their comments as well, is the connection that this team has with the community and with the citizens of Northern Colorado. And that being, I guess, interwoven in the community, I think, is what leads to that support and also enables the organization to carry on in a very successful manner year after year. Why the ECHL and Northern Colorado made sense, or why did it make sense to us? I think certainly we talked about the strength of the market, the strength of the organization, solid track record, which to us is very important. It fits well within our Western geography and the other 7 markets that we have in terms of the commute. And it also, I think, assists us for the upcoming year in a selfish way in terms of having an even number of teams in both East and West, which certainly makes scheduling a lot more accessible and easy for us as well. And I think then the Colorado willingness to join an affiliated league and share in the vision that we have in terms of player development and providing top quality entertainment for our fans. What can you expect from the ECHL? Quality entertainment and a high level of hockey, I think sums it up probably in a short phrase. We are a development league. All the teams are affiliated this past season with NHL and American League teams. Approximately 40% of our players are either on National Hockey League or American Hockey League contracts assigned to our league, subject to recall. We had 297 recalls this past year, which represented over 90% of the players that were recalled to the American Hockey League. So to a large degree, I think the players are interchangeable on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. That creates a little hardship from time to time, but when a player goes up, certainly you wish them well, and there's a very good chance at some point you'll get them back at the most important part of the year, hopefully going into your playoffs and when it means the most. 79 former players were on NHL rosters to open this past season, and that number increased as the season went along. 466 players who got their start in our league have gone on to play in the National Hockey League, and we're very proud of that. In the finals that'll start Wednesday night in the NHL between Boston and Vancouver, you're going to see Alex Burrows for the Canucks, a guy who spent over 2 years in our league before finally getting a shot in the American Hockey League, and now he's become a frontline player in the NHL. Michael Ryder for the Boston Bruins is another guy that started his career as a rookie in the ECHL. I think one of the critical success factors, though, for us in terms of being able to attract those players are coaches. There are 30 former ECHL coaches that are either now head coaches or assistant coaches in the National Hockey League, including Peter Laviolette, Bruce Boudreau, Davis Payne, and Jack Capuano. Both of those guys, the last 2 I mentioned, spent a considerable amount of time in our league learning their craft before making the move through the American League and on into the NHL. We have 25 former coaches who are now in the American Hockey League as well, and we are the #1 supplier of coaches to both the NHL and the American Hockey League. Our goal is then to attract the best young players that don't have NHL and American Hockey League contracts, provide them with a competitive environment, great coaching, great facilities, the opportunity to develop their skills in conjunction with a number of veteran players that allow continuity within the community, to mentor those players, hopefully give them the opportunity to develop their skills and move on up the ladder. We believe the Eagles share this same vision. We are proud to welcome the Colorado Eagles into our fold and believe that they will make a successful and positive contribution to the ECHL for many years to come. Thank you very much.
With that, if we could invite Mr. Brian McKenna back up to the podium. Any questions for ECHL Commissioner Brian McKenna?
Thank you.
Brian, can you just talk about what you knew about the Colorado Eagles, maybe before they approached you about possibly moving into the league, or was it you who came to them?
Well, I think we've known for 8 years now what a successful organization and terrific fan support that they've had here. I didn't know till today that, you know, the surroundings and the beauty of the area here. It's my first opportunity to come visit both the building and the area, and I'm suitably impressed. But I think their reputation preceded them in terms of the organization, in terms of their commitment to not only putting a good product on the ice, but also providing terrific entertainment for their fans. So they approached us, and the conversation, I think, developed over time, a considerable amount of time, and I think it became evident during the conversations with Chris and Martin that they shared the same vision as we did, and that it would be a good fit. So that just culminates here today. Just a follow-up on that as well. Out of respect to, there is a confidentiality agreement, but out of respect to both the Colorado players, their organization, and the CHL, certainly the announcement was not made till now because you know, we wanted to make sure we appreciated the sanctity of their regular season, their playoffs, and all that they were going through in their current league, and certainly not to get out in front of the bus in any of that. So that's why the announcement was not made till now.
At some point not too long ago, the ECHL had 28 to 30 teams, I think. Do you see that? Is your vision to have a league of that size once again, and is this kind of a step in that direction?
Well, what I've come to understand and about minor league sports, minor league hockey, is that the only constant is change. I think if you go back over the years, and Pat Kelly, our former commissioner, has been around the hockey wars for 50 years, reminds me that minor league sports, in particular hockey, goes in cycles and has for years. Different leagues, different markets come and go. We're very committed, though, to making sure that when we bring in a new member, that they're strong financially, that they've got a market and a facility that will endure for the longer term, and we're very deliberate about any expansion, and very deliberate about making sure that we've got partners that are going to be around for the longer term. Any expansion we do from here on out, again, it'll be done in a very deliberate fashion, a very slow motion. We don't have any commitment right now to get to a set number of teams. We just want to make sure that anything we do is in the long-range best interest of the ECHL.
Can you get into the particular length of this contract, or is there a set number of years that the Eagles have signed to participate in this league?
We hope it's forever. That they're around. I mean, they're in exactly the same terms as all of our existing teams. They have ongoing affiliation agreements, but you know, there are terms and conditions in there that the owners themselves construct and make part of our bylaws. So, from as far as we're concerned, we want it to be for a good long time, and I'm sure they feel the same way.